Good morning. This is SMA Colonel Fouts, head of school, SMA High School. Thank you for joining me with Coffee with the Colonel. And today I'd like to give you some updates on where we're at here at the high school in regards to COVID, in regards to progress through the 2020-2021 school year, and to look at some upcoming events that may be happening that we need to be thinking about in order to safely mitigate any risks and move forward and continue to have a great school year. First thing I'd like to talk a little bit to you about is personal responsibility. This is the number one thing, and I've talked about this several times, that this is the number one thing that is going to help us all successfully navigate through this pandemic. And that is for every one of us taking the personal responsibility to make sure we're doing the right thing. And this is definitely something that, this is the foundation of who and what SMA is. And that is to live by strong values that will ultimately positively affect our community. So let's talk about that personal responsibility. Let's talk about, as we enter flu season and cold season and the weather's changing and we're seeing more people that we might not normally see due to the holidays and so forth. Let's talk about the importance of taking a responsibility for yourself. What do I do if I'm just not feeling well today? Number one thing, you have to consider the ramifications, the possibilities of what could happen should it be a worst case scenario. You always have to think like that right now, because that worst case scenario could cause the death of someone. And that's how we have to look at this. So if you are not feeling well, even if it's just a headache, say you start getting a headache and you don't normally get headaches, that's a concern. You need to stay home. You need to consult with your doctor. You need to call them. You need to keep an eye on that, right? If you stay home and it goes away and you don't have to take any medicine to get rid of it and then come back to school the next day, that is absolutely fine, right? Come back to school symptom-free for 24 hours and you can come back to school. So, but if it persists and then, God forbid, something else start developing, such as a sore throat or stomach ache or sniffly nose, then it could be anything, right? Worst case scenario, it could be COVID-19. Better case scenario, it could be the influenza, or it could just be a common cold. It could be any number of things, but we're not the professionals to decide what it is. So we just have to take everything as seriously as possible. So if you have any type of unusual health concerns, just stay home. Stay home and consult with a physician. Quarantine yourself. Many of us have people who are at higher risk at home in our families. We need to make sure we're taking care of them as well. So if you're not feeling well, stay home, but stay isolated from that at-risk family member. Okay, let's talk a little bit about mitigations. And yes, these are required on campus. Masks. We all wear them. The thing is, though, is we have to wear them properly. This isn't doing us any good. It's not doing you any good. It's not doing your friends any good. It's not doing your teachers any good. It's not doing anybody any good. The only thing this is doing is covering up the fact that you didn't shave your chin that day. That's not what they're for. These are to mitigate risk. They are not the answer, but they're part of the solution. Okay? They help us to ensure that we are not spreading nearly as much and nearly as dramatically the vapors and the droplets and so forth that come from our nose and our mouth. And quite honestly, it helps us to keep from touching our nose and our mouth, right? So masks are definitely necessary. And you know what? That means honestly, if you're getting in the car and driving home right after school, and you're going to take a friend home with you, or you're going to drop them off at their house, keep your masks on until you drop them off and you're alone in that car. Don't take that risk. Be the one that's personally responsible for your own health and for others. Let's talk a little bit about healthy habits. And this is for, this is for COVID, this is for the flu, this is for the common cold. Constantly wash your hands as often as possible. If you can't get to a restroom to wash your hands, then use sanitizer. We have them all over the school. All the classrooms have them. We have sanitizer stations set up in different areas. So sanitize, wash, avoid touching your nose and your mouth. All right. Now here's a hard one. And I'm going to tell you, it is kind of hard because when you're wearing your mask and then all of a sudden, you get a tickle in your nose and you're going to sneeze. You don't want to sneeze inside your mask because you might not have another one handily available to you. Well, you know what? Sometimes it's going to happen and you're going to sneeze in your mask, which is fine. We have more masks. You just tell your teacher, say, ma'am, I just sneezed in my mask. Can you get me a new mask? And we'll get you a new mask. Okay? And then you can fold up this mask and put it in your pocket, take it home and wash it. Right? Otherwise, sneeze or cough into your elbow. All right? We've been learning that since kindergarten. We know that it's somewhat effective. It helps to reduce the spread of those germs. So please take those precautions and make sure that we're doing the best we can to keep yourselves and everybody around you safe. Now let's talk a little bit about social distancing. Yes, we have pretty full classrooms, but I think we're doing a pretty good job of keeping somewhat distance within the classrooms. But we're not going to be in excess of 6 feet. We know that, which is another reason why we need to wear our masks in the classroom at all time and wear them properly over the nose and the mouth. But social distancing isn't just here at school. It's also in your private life, because it's not doing any good if you're very safe here at school and you're not, you're doing everything you can to mitigate the risk of catching COVID-19 from somebody else. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the COVID response. What does the school do if we find out somebody in school has COVID? Normally, by the time they know they have COVID, they're already at home. And then we have to look and figure out, okay, when did they start showing symptoms? For example, if they had a positive test on, say, Monday, which we had no school, but they were in school on Thursday and Friday and had symptoms those days, then I have to find out everybody they sat next to in classrooms, who they had lunch with, who they rode with on the bus, if they rode on the bus. If they didn't ride in the bus, who did they ride in a car with or walk with to and from home? What other activities did they do that are school related, such as clubs or athletics or so forth? Who were they close to during those times? And then I have to do further investigation, find out if they've had any other outside contacts, such as going to a party over the weekend and possibly spreading it even more. So this is how we do this. And some of you have unfortunately been the brunt of other people's bad decisions. So, or pure bad luck. I can't necessarily say that a kid has brought this on themselves. Sometimes they come across it in very, passing by somebody in a grocery store. So it's really, we really have to be very careful about what situations we're putting ourselves into. I have to go to the grocery store, right? I have to shop for my family. I go pick up food when I want to eat out. I don't actually go to the restaurants. I pick it up, right? I'm trying to take those mitigation strategies. Many of the restaurants have curbside pickup, and it's a great process. You don't even have to get out of your car. It's awesome, right? Take advantage of those. They're helping us to stay safe and keeping the economy going. And I'm more than happy to participate in that, and you should as well. But we have to do it safely. If you are having symptoms, send somebody else to pick up the food, right? And certainly do not attend some type of an event where you don't know what kind of strategies they're going to be using, where many people are not wearing masks. Even really honestly, if anyone is not wearing a mask, I don't want to be there. And you shouldn't either. We need to take all mitigation practices seriously so that we can beat this, so we can keep our school open, and so that we can keep you in school and you can be successful and move closer toward graduation. So let's talk about some upcoming events we have happening here real soon. Clearly, we've got Thanksgiving right around the corner. I know my family and I have a father that lives and his wife who lives approximately an hour and a half away. We're probably not going to see him during Thanksgiving. We haven't seen him much during this pandemic. Quite honestly, he's elderly, and so is his wife, and I don't want to put them at risk, right? They don't need to be around any other people than they're normally around on a regular basis. These are hard decisions to make, but you know what? There's going to be more Thanksgivings. There are going to be more winter breaks. A lot of people are thinking about vacations right now, and I get that. We need a break as well. Let's plan COVIDly safe vacations, all right? You're already with your family on a daily basis. You can do something with your family, but stay away from crowds. Stay away from people you don't know, because you honestly don't know the lifestyle they live or how seriously they take this. So these are the things I wanted to talk to you today, because we have had a little uptick in cases here at the high school. We hope that this was just a bad experience that we're going to get over, and we're going to get back to having relatively few or to no active cases on campus. We would like to see that, because we would like to keep our school viable. We would like to keep our kids in school, because we know that's where they're going to be the most successful. So I want to thank you for taking this seriously with us and helping us to remain a safe campus, not just safe from violence, but safe from COVID. This is our new school safety plan that we've had to add in there, and we need to take it seriously as we do all other safety plans. Thank you once again. Thank you for joining me with Coffee with the Colonel, and I hope you have a wonderful and restful weekend. We look forward to seeing everybody back in school on Monday. Please check out our social media on Monday morning, because we're going to be live streaming the National Honor Society induction ceremony, which is sponsored by our very own SMA Major Wasserman, who is the NHS sponsor. We're really looking forward to that. And then, of course, on Wednesday is Veterans Day. Veterans Day is an early release day. We will also be streaming a ceremony during formation Wednesday morning, as well as there will be some activities during the first period class that has been our cadet leadership and our Army instructors have been putting together an amazing program. Yes, we do not have the parade this year. This has got to be a first, and it's sad, but we're going to do our very best to honor all of our veterans and the amazing sacrifices they have made, as well as let's think about our veterans' families and the amazing sacrifices they have made as well. Also, Wreaths Across America has begun. We are selling, and if you're cadet, you cadets, if you sponsor, I believe, 5, then you get a t-shirt, and there will be a certain day during the week where you will get to wear that t-shirt with your polo uniform instead of a Class B. So there's another chance to have a little bit of a relaxation of your dress standards just by helping us with this amazing cause. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful weekend. Stay safe. Keep your houses battened down because we're supposed to start getting a little weather towards the end of the weekend. And I hope to see everybody back on campus that in a safe manner on Monday the 9th. Thank you. Have a great weekend.